Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Quest Markers. On this show, we talk about video games and the people behind them. I'm Marina. I make music and sounds for games. And today I am so excited to have Ryako with us. Ryako is a composer, music producer, performer, and sound designer, and was the audio lead for The Spirit Lift, a ghostpunk roguelike deck builder, which we covered with Dr. Miko Charbonneau a few months ago. And initially we were going to make this one episode, but we decided to make it two separate ones, given the fact that we could go really, really deep on both topics. So Miko's episode went into what it's like starting your own studio and running a fully remote studio. And today we'll be talking about what it's like making music and sounds on your first video game. So this episode will be timestamped with the topics we cover, so feel free to jump around if you're watching the recording. And I'm very excited for today's conversation. And before we dive in, Ryako, we have a tradition on this show. Okay. We always start with the question, how are you staying hydrated?
Oh my God. Okay, obviously thirsty kitties here with some Coke Zero and a bit of ice. Also, I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of coffee. Like generally it's like black. I usually drink Americanos.
Okay, yeah.
And I drink a lot of coffee, like probably an unhealthy amount. Like I would like maybe this might affect my blood pressure at some point. But yeah,
no judgment
water,
on my end.
It's always water, coffee, Coke Zero. That's it.
I like
That's
it.
usually all I drink. Yeah.
I like it. I have coffee. I only have half of my coffee.
That's half
because I've already had half of this one coffee today. Okay. There will be more, but I don't have a cute little cat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was such a random purchase. I was like, "Ooh, this looks great. I'm just gonna buy this. I don't care. Yeah, I'm just gonna buy this." And somehow it makes drinks taste better.
It does, right?
Right? I don't know why.
So I was saying this yesterday. Coffee tastes better in this cute little glass. This is a nice coffee. It tastes better in this cute little glass, and no one can tell me otherwise. It's just true.
I know. It's just it just works, man.
Anyone who says otherwise is wrong.
Yeah, I know. They need a cup. They need like their special cup then. Or their whatever.
Exactly. And then, I agree.
Then everything will taste great.
Exactly. That's it. I agree. Before we get into your journey getting into game development, tell us a little bit about yourself. I
am originally from California, but I live in Bruges, Belgium. So I'm in the future.
You are.
Shit. Yeah, I live in like a really small city that's kind of a medieval city, and cobblestones, and there are horses. Yeah, there's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And I'm a music producer. I started out with producing music, just when you're like alone and you like thinking about your last breakup, and then you start making things, and then it's like, oh, okay, like some people write bad poetry, some people write bad songs. I think that's where I started. And it was like, okay. And then I started doing that, and then I just kept doing that, and then at some point I got into nerdcore, and then I started doing that, and then I think it was like during when COVID started, I decided to teach myself how to score films. And I scored Metropolis, and I did like Twitch streams about scoring this like 100-year-old film and giving it a new modern score, like something that would kind of help with being immersed in it, and also to like add more emotion to it. Because if you listen to like original scores to like old movies, it's like the best they could do, and I get it, but it's like if you want to like, I don't know, get, modern audiences to pay attention and to just really feel the story, you have to make sure that you have the music that's, going to accompany it. You have to make sure it's good. And I started doing that. And I got a screening at DEF CON at some point for that. And also Miko, who you mentioned earlier, of Pretty Smart Games, she found me on Twitter when it was still Twitter. She found me and just cold emailed me. She just sent me this like cold email. I'm like, she's like, would you like to work on this game? Like, I like your stuff. Would you like to work on this game? It's a horror game. And I'm like, I've never done this before, but you know what? I'm game. And that's how I started doing doing the Spirit Lift. I cold email. And
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. Okay, so you used Heartbreak as a catalyst to learn music
Sorry.
production, and then you started
Yeah.
streaming and
Yeah.
scoring
Yeah.
old films. I haven't seen Metropolis in like over 10 years. And
Yeah.
then the
It's
opportunity came about to work in game dev. What a story. I feel like that, yeah,
yeah.
the
It's kind
visibility is such an interesting topic in this industry in general because yeah, like people do get opportunities just by putting themselves out there. And I feel like the Spirit Lift in general, like if we can get into the music already, the OST genre bends a
yeah.
lot. So like there's
Yeah.
electronic and orchestral and like a lot of haunting vocals. Tell us a
Mm.
little bit about the Spirit Lift and its music and kind of the direction that you decided to take for the OST.
Well, the Spirit Lift, it's like roguelike deck building horror. And so I knew that I didn't want to make it too scary. Like I know that like sometimes when you play horror games and it's just like the music is just so much that you can feel like your heart is like going too fast. And I know that Miko wanted to keep it kind of like spooky but cute. And I was like, all right, well, what I can do is just I personally like um bending genres a bit. I like adding a lot of stuff that normally people wouldn't think of just because you know, it's like kind of, I don't know. I just like to do things that are a little different. I try anyway. And with this, I was like, okay, I need to make sure that the songs will be bangers. Like, but like, you know, you don't have to play the game to like the song. And so that's what I wanted to bring to this, like some style, a little, you know, just something that felt haunting, but not so much that it that you would want to like, you know, that you were scared out of your mind. Just things that had like that were fun, but also, you know, it's still a battle, you know, like something that was a bit more like aggressive, but still fun, you know. And that's
Yeah.
basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, to your point, like there's definitely, as I've played runs, there's kind of a tension. Like it's not exactly to your point, it kind of subverts what one would expect from a horror soundtrack. It's very
Mm.
melodic. It's, as I mentioned, like kind of this genre bend of like electronic and orchestral and like haunting
Mm-hmm.
vocals. But it's also, there's kind of this pressure in the back of your mind of like, are you
Yeah.
going to be able to survive the next encounter?
Yeah.
Um, but the music is a really nice push almost to be like, all right, go, off you go. What's around the
Yeah.
corner? You're
Here
about
we
to find
go.
out.
It because it changes. It does change
Yeah.
throughout, you know, the longer your run is, the certain floors you get to.
Yeah.
And it was designed that way so that it could just be sort of progressively a little bit, you know, cause a little bit more anxiety, just a little bit more, and just so that it slowly creeps on. And then by the end, you're like, I'm scared. You're like, I'm on the 13th floor and I'm scared. And it's like, okay, good. Then it's working. Good.
Yeah. No, but I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Did you also have a hand in implementation?
I basically all I did was it depends on like some like source, for example, like some things I was given like for example, like characters, like certain they were animated a certain way because I asked for them to be animated first before creating the sounds for them. And then I was able to kind of use the way they animated the character to affect how this character would sound. So if a character is like there's I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna spoil anything if I say there's like a character who's like whose name is Nosferatu, and Nosferatu is like just the drawings and like the way, you know, he goes like this and he kind of sings a little, and it's like, okay, I know kind of voice should go with this. I know what kind of, you know, because of the movement, because of the way he's animated, I know what his voice should sound like, and it shouldn't sound too scary. It should sound some, you know, a little bit silly. And there I did that, but most of the time all I did was Mika would give me very direct, like, okay, this needs to be like half a second long, and it's for this specific purpose. And I did it, and then I gave it to her, and I'm like, here, what do you think? And then that was it. That was usually the process. It's not, I didn't do like a whole lot of stuff where like I had to plug it into like Unity or anything like that. I didn't, I'm just like I hear like, oh, you need sounds? Here, I can make some sounds for you here. And so, yeah. But usually I would be given artwork or I'd ask questions. I would just ask questions because it's like, if I need more information, please tell me more. What are you thinking about? And if it's for something that's a really specific, like a song for like what kind of music, just give me like an example or two or three of what you feel this should kind of, be like, what do you feel? And everything, it just always, it starts off with emotions, like, what do you feel? And I don't know how normal or like how common that is, but it's just the way I work.
I'm pretty similar of like, what are we grounding this in? Like what,
Yeah,
especially on the music side, like what
yeah,
emotion are we trying to trigger in the
yeah.
player? Like what should they be feeling ultimately from this? And so it's interesting that you mentioned like you didn't want to go too scary, but it's more of this kind
Hmm.
of build up with the
Yeah.
music while you're because for folks who haven't played the game, it's a roguelike where you're going from floor 1 to floor 13 and you're collecting cards and building your deck kind of as you go. And you've got 3 characters with you that comprise your party. But yeah, similar with sound design, like the physicality of a space is really important to
Yeah.
me when I'm sound designing because it's like if we're opening a door,
Yeah.
where are we? Like how big is the room
Mhm.
we're in? How big is the room that we're entering? How big's the door? Like what's the
Yeah.
doorknob made out of?
Yeah,
Is it wood?
exactly.
Is it metal? Is it like
Yeah.
what does it look like? And all of those things we have to take into account exactly to your point
Mhm.
because otherwise how do you design something that feels right and
Yeah.
where the player is not going to be taken out of the experience.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
super similar to you. um,
Yeah.
I think I know probably the answer to this, but were you also responsible for mixing and mastering the music?
Yes, I am. I feel like I could be I definitely could be a better engineer, but I'm really I don't know. I'm not that's not my strong suit. I definitely could be better, but I think I need to like I think I need to take a class or something on that. But for now it's like I had to. Here we go. It's like I'm going to give you a full product and I hope you like it. Here we go. Like mm. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I asked because we don't talk about that
we
enough.
never talk about
Like,
that.
yeah, I feel like I've had very few conversations with devs who aren't musicians where we're like actively talking about mixing and mastering because to your point, like it is a separate skill
Yeah,
set.
it
There's
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
So and it's an art and a science. Like,
yeah.
yeah, there is a technical element to it, but then it's also like how do I add my flair? Like what do I want to stand out? Um yeah, what's your process typically like when you're sitting down to write? You mentioned kind of grounding everything in emotion and understanding
Yeah.
that. And then yeah, what's your composition process
Well,
like?
if I get like a reference or something from Miko, if she gave me like a reference, like, oh, I like this song, or I like she, I just find the buzzwords, and then certain instruments I associate with certain feelings. Um, so like for example, if I want something to sound like aggressive but still orchestral, I'm gonna go for like a hard brass sound, like a Hans Zimmer, like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just
I know
certain
exactly what you mean.
yeah. It's the I can't do it with my voice. I don't have that much bass in this thing. But you know what I mean. So everything has like its own every instrument feels a certain way to me. And so it's like, oh, like if I want something that's going to really affect that's going to highlight something like a really emotional point, something like that, it's going to be like with some strings and then like a nice like quieter piano, like they're just different instruments that make you feel a certain way. And this also extends to like electronic instruments. So certain sounds, it's like, oh, I really want like a kind of analog sort of mid 80s early 90s lead synth with like that just feels like it's that feels retro but isn't. the same as the past. It's like you want to basically, and I think this also ties in with the game. It's like finding things that make you nostalgic, but not copying them, taking them, and then turning them into something that's more updated and original. I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
Does that
definitely.
make
Yeah, because the game is a love letter to the 90s as well. Like it's
mm.
got such a 90s feel to it. How did you
Yeah.
balance that of taking like more modern or like trying to infuse modernity? Modernity? Is that a
Yeah.
word? Trying to
It is.
infuse a
It's
modern sound
it's a
into
word. It's a
into
word. Um,
into more of a
um,
retro soundtrack.
I think what I did was I listened to a lot of music that, from that time period that I was like, oh, I really loved that, or something you're like, oh, I could feel, this is what I liked about it. And then I would listen to it, and then I try to figure out the things that were like, in common, like things that really made it. Because now as a music producer, I can listen to a song and I could be like, okay, it's this thing that is like, this is the money shot, like, baby, this is it, I love this bass, and then you're just like, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this thing in, I'm gonna put this bass in, but then I'm gonna change like the way the drums sound. I'm gonna up the bass on this part, or I'm gonna, add like a reverb to the snare so it goes like, like there's just there's so many great songs from the 90s that you can just like listen to and be like, oh, I fell in love with this part, like, oh. So I don't know. That's it. It's just
So
listening to
true.
stuff. Yeah.
Going back to sound design, this
Yeah.
was the
Mhm.
first game that you sound designed. This was your first
Yeah.
project that you sound
This was like
designed.
my first game,
Yeah.
period. And also first time designing sound,
Yeah.
like for a game, doing music for a game. Cause I'll be real with you. Okay. I didn't think that I'd ever be doing games, actually. I thought that maybe like, it's like, I didn't even think of that as a possibility, which is weird to say now, but I mean, I don't know. I thought I didn't even think about that. So when Miko sent me that, again, cold email, and you're like, what? And then it's like, wait, this can be something I can do. I can do this. And I think like originally the sound designer couldn't do the game somehow. So I ended up doing it, and I was like, yeah, I'll take on the role. I don't quite know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do as well as I can. And so, yeah, that was the first. It's like the only game I've worked on. But I mean, obviously, I don't want it to be the only game I've worked on. I would like to work on more games after I finish scoring all the films and writing a musical. So it's fine.
All the things.
I know all the
Um,
things. Oh my God.
what was the learning process like for you on the sound design
Mm,
front? Do you feel like you
yeah.
kind of jumped into a big pool in the deep end, or did you feel like your music production skills helped you a lot in being able to utilize all of those tools, EQ, compression, reverb, delay, saturation,
Yeah.
etc., in order
Mhm.
to be able to design sounds?
Oh no, music production is like, it taught me a lot of stuff I didn't realize I knew. Like I didn't realize I had those skills. And then I just started doing it, and I'd also watch films, and I'd listen. I'd watch games, listen. You just basically have to see what people are doing, and you need to see if anything knocks you out of of that immersion. And if something knocks you out, you're like, okay, this is not the way to go. Like, this is bad. Let's do something else. Let's like make something quieter, something softer. I don't know. So it's more like, I just yeah, I think to be really good at that, you have to also listen. um yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Perhaps the most important skill, I think, for audio people.
Yeah.
Um, Switching gears a little bit, on the episode with Miko, we spoke about running a fully remote studio. So I'd love to talk about that a little bit on your end, because fully remote team, what was that like? Especially given you mentioned earlier, you're in the future, like you're many time
Yes.
zones away from the rest of the team. So yeah, tell us a little bit about how did you work together?
I was okay in the beginning. I was like, oh no, everybody. like everyone can, like when people started co-working, I felt really bad because I would wake up and I'd start working, but then everybody would be going to bed. The good thing about being like many hours into the future is that I can work during the day. And once I finish something, I can send it. And Miko gets it like first thing in the morning. So although it might seem like it's a, like it might, like working remote with, somebody far, many hours ahead, although it might seem like it's a bad idea, it's actually not, because it can increase productivity like immensely. You're not waiting really on somebody to finish working. Basically, I'm working when they're sleeping, and then I go to sleep when they, it's like, and usually there's a buffer, a few, several hours where it's like, okay, this is where we can kind of talk, and like I can send, get replies very quickly, or we can have our calls, it's, etc. So it's, I don't know. I know it's, how can I say this? Like, okay, music producers, dude, let's be real. Like, I spend a lot of time at my desk, like a lot. Like, this is unhealthy. There is a reason why I should be, I'm not as tan as I should be. And I don't, it's because I don't go out. I like being inside because I like working at my desk. I'm like a troll, like a cave troll, and I'm at
I
my
mean, I'll
desk.
second that for me.
Like because I love doing this. I mean, I love it, and obviously at some point we need breaks, but I love doing this. This is great, but also it's like a really lonely thing. Like, I'm in here and I'm alone, and something that's really that I things that I work on, a lot of the times it's like I don't really need to collaborate with anybody to get there up, and then we make some kind of compromise. Generally, it's like it's not like that. We're just alone. I'm alone in this room with many plants, with and a lot of fun stuff, but I'm alone and I work alone, and I know what it's like to already be remote. So having, for me personally, like having like all those people on the Slack, and like, it was lovely. They're so cool. And it was really lovely getting to like read what they were working on, like look at the messages. Man, it was like actually having coworkers, because I don't, here I'm doing stuff alone. No coworkers. I mean, sometimes my cat comes by and is like, meow, but yeah, that's about it.
I get that. I mean, especially if I'm working on music, I don't know about you, but I
Yeah.
work best alone, where it's like I can have
Yes.
my like 2 or 3 hours to just work on something and then
Hmm.
send it out for feedback without being
Yeah.
interrupted. And I can just let the team know, like, hey, I'm going to be heads down for X amount of
Yeah.
time. It helps me a lot. But yeah, like feedback is super, super
Mm.
important.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. How was the feedback process like for you? You kind of mentioned it for sound effects, right?
Mhm.
Like going
Yeah.
back and forth and making sure, like, does this
Yeah.
actually fit? Like when we see it in game, like, we thought that it was going to fit.
Hmm.
Does it actually fit? Like I iterate a lot where I'm like, oh, let me
Yeah.
tweak this a little bit. But yeah, what was it like for you?
It was super easy. Actually, it was so easy because it was like, um, because when I say, please give me an example of something that you like, or I usually ask for 3 examples. If this, if they're give me examples, 3 is my favorite, because then I can listen to each thing and find the connecting thread through those 3 things. Um, or she describes, like, Miko's a great writer, so she's going to describe that stuff as well as she can. And it's like, okay, I know what you want. I can tell what you want. And that was it, really. It was just sort of like I would give her like a boss song, and she'd be like, this is great. And then it was like, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, that worked out. Hey, it's like, whoa. So I don't know. It wasn't very hard at all. It was lovely. Not that, but not that I wouldn't welcome like some kind of real, like, I did at point, there were sometimes like some criticism or little, really little things, though. It's hardly, I mean, it's hardly anything. It was just like, just small things. And that was it. It was super easy. And I think it also, it was easy because I worked with basically a captain who made it easy. Like it was, the whole like kindness is clarity thing or something like that. That's I really prefer like specificity and like somebody just telling me, all right, this is what I want. But then it's like, okay, all right, I'll give you what you want. Let's go. We can do this.
That's
And
such a
then,
good point. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
sorry. Please go ahead.
no, it's true. No, no, no. For reals. Like you get it. Girl, you get it.
I was gonna say the kindness is clarity, clarity is kindness
Yeah.
quote. I love so much
Mm,
because I'm also someone who likes to dig in and be like, okay, what like let's really, really go into this. Like,
yeah.
what should this sound like? What should the player feel like?
Yeah.
I also really enjoy references. So, yeah, I think planning and preparation conversation is so important to your point.
Yeah.
Because then we can go into it thoughtfully. And if we need to change things down the line, that's okay. But at least like
Yeah.
we have a conversation, we have
Yeah.
some shared language about what
Yeah.
something should sound like. So
Hmm.
I love that quote. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. And you know what? It's true. Because
I agree.
and yeah. Just like please make our lives easier. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, having a good captain. I think that's also super
Yeah.
important. It's like, yeah, like knowing the direction and
Yes.
knowing how everything's going to tie in
Yeah. I love it
together.
when someone has a vision.
Mm, mm,
Like
mm.
my job is not to be like super standout person in this game. No, I am trying to make your vision happen. Like that's what my job is. It's not to be like, like it's not an ego thing. It's not, this is so that your vision of what this game could be, it comes true. I just want to make that happen. And if that means that I have to work on something for, several more hours or days or whatever, then I'm going to do it because I want this to be right. I want this to feel right. And I want it to be the best thing it can be, you know? I just I'm very much like teamwork, yes. I'm like
Power friendship is
she
my favorite trope. You
yeah,
don't need to convince me.
it's like, oh, all right, let's do this together. We're all remote and we all do our own things, but you know what? Together combined, we make like the ultimate like, you know, I don't know. It's like Voltron, or it's like together we become like the ultimate, Megazord or something. It's like great. This is that's basically it. I have that
Yeah.
kind of team mindset for things like
Mhm.
this.
I think that's so important. And I've seen sentiment online of people being like, well, I want to be a composer, but I don't want to get feedback. Like I want to write the thing that I want to write. And yeah, I mean, I always have a similar reaction to you because it's like it's not about one single individual doing what they want. It's about what's
Yeah.
going to serve the project, what's going to serve the
Yeah.
game, what's going to serve the player, what's going to serve the
Yeah.
direction. Yeah, I'm 100%
Yeah.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have to like set aside your ego and just sort of like remember that this is not about you. This is about
Mm,
us, and also like, okay, if you want to work on your own thing and make it yours, completely yours, I've done that too. And you know what? That's also fine. But it's like only if you're doing it, it's like you can't expect to do only what you want for somebody and not get some kind of feedback, or it's like there's I don't want to use the word compromise because I feel like that it's sort of like, it sounds like it's a bad thing. But really, what you're trying to do is find the sweet spot where it's like, I know what you want. Here's what I can do. And here's what I can change in order for it. Like we have the same goal, and it's to make a kick-ass game. And that's it. And there's a place where you can both be happy, or the team can be
100%.
happy. I don't know.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, every composer is going to be brought in like partially because of their style and personality and the way that they write
Yeah.
music, right? So it's not
Yeah.
about taking away someone's individuality.
No.
It's about, yeah, what's going to serve the project. Um,
Mm.
in a similar vein, I wanted to ask you, where do you draw inspiration from on a project?
Oh, like for the game or just in general? Like,
Just in general.
oh God. Ooh, films. Usually films. Because if something, okay, I'm going to tell you this weird thing. All right, that happens to me. All right, so sometimes, and it's I've had this since I was a little girl. Sometimes I would go to the cinema and I'd watch films and stuff, and I'd listen like the music, like if it to me, if it really spoke to me, if it was good, like I get this sort of feeling where I get really cold and almost like my breath leaves my body and it just sort of washes over me, and it's like it's such a good feeling, but it's also I know it's unusual, but that's what happens when I feel something is good, and then I have to listen to it again, and then it's like, I like it because of this. I like it because of this. And then I find the things that I like about it, and then it's like, all right, how can I incorporate some of that into what I'm making? Um, will it hit that emotional place that I'm trying to, reach? Is it like, well, like also, I don't know, like you can find like sounds are like, obviously they're like everywhere. Sometimes I'll just be like on a train and like I'll hear like this sort of rhythm of the train moving, and it'll be like, oh, this is great. This could be really good as like, oh, this could be like a percussion thing. Like maybe I could change, it's like, I don't know. I think you just have to be able to like listen. Just again, it's just like listening to everything. And like sometimes you'll find unexpected things, and and then you can use them, and then they can inspire you. Just look for things that inspire you. um Film, for me, it's films, other music, obviously, or just like going out, and like I think there was one time where like um I was like, a friend of mine had like a really powerful fan, and I would talk into the fan. And so it makes like a kind of a weird like robot voice, like because it's like it's just like doing this with your voice, and you're like, oh, this is so fun. I love this. Like I should do something like that. That's what I should do. Yeah, yeah. I want to make a robot voice. And you're like, yeah, but like dumb stuff like that. It sounds really stupid, but I swear it helps. Well, it helps me. I don't know if it'll help anybody else. So.
The way you're describing it reminds me of this quote, and I can't remember now for the life of me who said it, but the quote is, "I live a good life because I pay attention to my life," and it's really stayed with me.
Oh,
And I feel like that's kind of what you're describing, is just paying attention to the life
yeah.
around you, to
Well,
things happening.
maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I pay enough attention. Sometimes I get like lost in my own little world. Like I think a lot, and let's be real, I think a lot of musicians do. Like anybody who makes music is like, sometimes there's a point where you space out, and then you're like, you know, 5 minutes later, huh? What did you say? It's like, so I mean, come on, I'm not beyond that. Yeah, but here we are.
I think
It's
that's just a musician thing.
oh, is it okay? Good.
Personally, I don't know. I
Good.
don't know. I might be wrong, but
The spacing out thing, like
I do. And then I hear
you
melody. Like
space
if I
out.
sit down to work,
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of space out and I'm like, oh, I hear it. And I'm like
Oh
trying to
yeah.
track it as much as
Yeah.
I can. But yeah.
Sometimes I'll have like a okay. Sometimes I'll have dreams, and then I'll wake up from the dream, and I'll like hum something really ridiculous like into my phone, and then I'll be like, all right, go back to sleep. And sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes it's great, and then sometimes it's not. But sometimes when it does work out, it's like, I know it. I know what I'm looking for. It's like one time I was like making a song, but I needed like that instrument that was going to like stand out. And it was going to be like, what is going to be the instrument that really like shines in this? And so I went to like Burger King for dinner because I was like, I don't want to cook. I just want to eat chicken fingers. And so I went to Burger King and I was listening to this music that was playing. And there was something that came up and it was like a marimba in like this song. I don't know what song it was. I can't remember. I really can't. But the marimba stayed with me. And I'm like, that's it. That's what I'm going to use. So I went back, put it in the song. Perfect. Yeah. So I mean,
Thanks,
it's
Burger
just,
King.
I know, like, thank you, Burger King, for the delicious chicken fingers and the inspiration. Thank you.
I'm quite similar in that, like, going back to just paying attention. Like, you were paying
Yeah.
attention enough to hear that marimba where you
Yeah.
were going. You're paying attention to the train tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think a lot of being an audio person is paying attention. Paying attention to life, paying attention to our work, like being obsessive about the small
Oh, God, yeah.
details.
So obsessive.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you listen to a sound you made and then you kind of go, oh no, that's not quite it. And then you recreate the sound with your mouth and you go, oh yeah, that's it. That's what I need. I need to trail it just a little bit longer. That's it. And then you find the solution. But you're making sounds like all the time. Like I am, at least. I'm here like, and I'm just like, just it looks crazy if somebody's like from the outside looking in. It looks crazy. But for me, it's just like sometimes I'll just hear something in my head and I'll have to like sound it out. Yes. Which is what I did for a lot of the character sounds. A lot. Like
Were they
there
you?
are
Were they
many.
your
Yeah.
voice?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like there's a lot of my voice in there. You just don't know, man. I mean, obviously in the music, there's like some parts on the soundtrack where I sing. And there are some parts where I could do the, the classic like ooh haunting sound, That's it, and that's great. And I love doing that stuff. But I also liked hiding like my voice, like, okay, what's the sound? What's this guy gonna sound like? What's this boss gonna sound like? What's this little minion gonna sound like? Let's do this. And it's just so fun. And it's like, I'll just be like, like just make, you like find the dumbest voices inside you. And then you're just like, all right, this is what she would sound like. But raise the pitch about 5 semitones. And then like, it's like, oh, perfect. That's it. That's it.
You got to find it. You got to find it somehow.
Yeah. The doll in there.
Yeah, I was going to say the doll. Yeah.
And also
mystery solved.
Yeah, I know. Who dat? Me. Nosferatu? Also me. All right. It's like certain like things are like layered with like my voice plus like a scream or something, or like I use some weird instruments. There was like for the sound design, I actually for the the hotel phone.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I have an old rotary phone back there.
Did you record an actual rotary phone for that?
Yes.
Oh, it's my
cool. Actual rotary phone from the 1950s. It's like made of Bakelite. It's like that heavy plastic and metal. And it is heavy. It could be a weapon. I used like, it's so heavy. It's like, ice cream scoop. I used, I don't know. I just went around. Like sometimes I would just be like, oh, I really need something that just sounds like this. And it's like, maybe if I layer it with the sound of a monkey and then I pitch it up and I do this thing with an EQ. Yes, let's do that. Yes. And like as you do, you know what I'm talking about.
As you do.
Yeah. Some of the weird stuff.
Truly like boundless creativity. It's so anytime fun. I talk to a sound designer, I'm like, how did you make this? And I will get an answer that is completely unexpected.
Yeah.
But that's also the magic of being able to record something and manipulate it in a specific way to get exactly what you want.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Oh my God. It's like, all right, so we're going to mix a whale. It's going to be the sound of a whale plus this really loud bird. And then let's like splice that together. It sounds insane. It does sound insane.
And it works.
It does work. I hope so.
And it works. I really like ending on this question because I feel like the insights that we've gotten out of it have been really, really good. Okay. So to start wrapping us up, very serious, high stakes.
Yeah.
To start wrapping us up, what advice would you give your younger self? And you can choose the age. Like it might be, a few years ago, it might be when you were
Okay.
really young. If you could go back in time and give yourself any advice with all the knowledge and the wisdom that you have now, what would you tell
Mm-mm.
your younger self?
I think I would tell my younger self to actually listen to yourself, because a lot of the time, like when I was growing up, okay, I'm Asian. I I grew up in a somewhat strict family, and I had to be dutiful, and I had to do what people told me to do. And you bend yourself a certain way in order to fit what other people want from you. And if you're trained to do that at a young age, it's really hard to listen to your own voice inside, the one that's screaming at you, telling you that you should be doing music. This is your way. Like, this is the way. Stop trying to make everybody else happy. So, I mean, I would just say, like, really learn to listen to, and this is like to my young self, as soon as I'm like aware of what, of like who I am. And as soon as, as you become aware of like who you are as a person, and you feel that call inside of you to make something or to do something or to try something, even though it sounds crazy and everyone thinks you're being like silly, or they think you're wasting their time. Don't like just don't shut out your own voice, because I once I started like listening to like myself, like to what I felt, and really started connecting with, how I felt about, just everything. It was like living became so much easier and less stressful. And I was not depressed. Like, I think if you stop listening to yourself, you'll you kind of shut out your own voice, and then you end up getting older and finding that you don't really know who you are at all. So I think, just like, to you, younger Ryako, please listen. If I could time travel, I'd just be like, hey, girl, just hang in there. You do you, girl. You just find the music in your heart, make it, and you go ahead, just forge ahead. It's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to be an accountant if you don't want to be an accountant or something. Like something that's considered more. I don't know, something that's considered respectable. You know what I mean, like, because this is not an easy thing. Artist, being an artist, being any musician, and any artist, really, like any artist. My God, this is like a hard. This is not what we want to choose. It's sort of, it chooses you, and you go into it knowing that you will probably be poor for a bit, for a long bit, or you're going to be like, and you're going to spend every bit of time you can working on this stuff. And, it's just, you do it anyway because you love it. And that's why we will spend hours in front of our desks like cave trolls working, because we love it, but also because we're listening to what's in here. So,
What a beautiful answer. I just want to call out for people who are watching the recording or listening. Chat on Twitch is throwing hearts at you
oh, that's, I
because
mean, why
that's such a
the
beautiful answer.
best? I
But it
mean,
is. I don't think we talk about that often enough. Like
no.
choosing what you want to do, regardless of how uphill the path
Oh
is going to
gosh,
be, with
yeah.
the knowledge that the path is going to be,
Yeah. Yeah,
going
it's going to be
uphill.
hard.
It's going to
Yeah.
be
You're
hard.
going to be like fighting your
Uh,
way through this, but it'll be worth it. There will be a point where you just like, you achieve something, the first thing you achieve, and it's like, it's that's like, you just, you're so proud, and you feel so complete by that. You know what I mean? Like, you feel like, oh, this is right. Like, things are right for this moment. They're right. And then it's like, okay, yeah. So, I mean, to all you artists out there, I think you just keep going. Like, you can do this. You can do this. Work hard. Listen to yourself. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Oh my goodness. What a way to end the show. I love this. Yeah, beautifully said. Thank you for sharing
Oh
all of
yeah,
that. Because yeah, I
totally.
think it's important. I think art is incredibly important. And I was watching an interview recently or listening to a podcast, and somebody had said art is the way that we process our life. It's the way that we process emotions, and it's so important. It shows us things about the world and things about ourselves that we
Yeah,
otherwise maybe wouldn't have meditated on. And
yeah,
yeah, just
definitely.
beautifully said.
I think art
Beautifully said.
catches all the details that
Mm,
you know what I mean, like all of
mm,
those things that seem insignificant, but that later on you cherish because they become a core, you know, part of your the memory or whatever it is. It's like it's all the details, the nuances. Maybe it's just the zeitgeist, who knows? But I mean, it makes me so sad when like I hear about schools that cut programs, like art programs. Oh, it makes me crazy. And I don't know. It's like, oh wow. It's like, don't devalue this. Come on. Come on.
yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
You know.
Chad is still throwing hearts at you.
You know what? I throw hearts back. Here, Thirsty Kitty says, hey girl. She's like, hey girl, stay.
Hell yeah. I think on that note, this is a great time to open it up for Q&A, but just for the recording, for the VOD, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Dude, this has been so fun.
Yeah, this has been really fun. I'm really excited for Q&A. Also, the soundtrack is a banger, so that's gonna be in the description. Our socials will be in the description if you'd like to follow Ryako on social media. Or the show. And if you have any feedback or topics that you want to see covered in the future, let us know. But thank you again. And I think this is such a great place to open it up for a Q&A. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You're the best girl.
Oh my